Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Boom Bar. My name is Shola Rogers.
My name is Oladulupo.
Can you hear that again?
My name is Oladulupo.
Yeah. Can you hear yourself? Because I can.
Yes.
All right. Together, we will be taking you on a journey through the world of music, sports, entertainment, and everything in between. It's been an interesting period. A whole lot of stuff is happening. A lot of stuff is happening in our world, and we will be trying our best to bring them to you because a lot of you guys are, counting on us. We know, and again, the beauty of what we do here at the Boom Bar is that it's a relaxed atmosphere for us. We find it very easy to analyze and basically bring to you the things that we do. We also always prefer solutions. Always, never ever do we just sit back, because it's easy to be a critic, armchair critic, whatever critic that you want to call yourself, without looking at the other side of things. So you can catch us if you're watching now on Twitter, Instagram, on the Boom Radio NG official handles, or on my personal Facebook, which is also streaming live. And again, if you're watching and you're not listening, you want to listen, you can listen on boomradio.com.ng. Interesting things are happening out here in our world, and so many things to talk about. But let's kick it off with the big story out there when it comes to Nigeria, especially the seat of power, Abuja, where during an event, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission,
Pretty young guy.
yeah, Bauer, actually was delivering a speech or making a presentation, and midway into his presentation, well, at some point during his presentation, he felt a dizzy spell. You would, if you've seen the video, you would understand. But if you haven't, let's describe it for you. He was talking, felt dizzy, and what happened, Delu?
And he was trying to go. Of course, the smart thing to do is go to your chair. So according to the video, we saw that he literally slumped into the chair.
It's a scary thing, because we've seen incidents where people just basically have these dizzy spells, and before you know it, man, it's a different story entirely.
Yeah.
And it's not a nice thing to see. However, a lot of stories have been flying about, but the EFCC have already come out to debunk some of the allegations out there, or the insinuations. It is said that he's doing okay now.
Yeah, the EFCC had released a statement and said that it's just a mild thing, and that he's being attended to and he will be back to work faster than people think. It was pretty scary though, but especially the fact that he's a young person. You want to expect something like this from someone very young, and then basically, for me, this is what I've been saying, or something that we've been advocating for a long time. It's not about how you look or how something seems. It's not always what it seems. It is about consciously taking care of yourself, what you eat, what you ingest, how you do these things. These things are what would help generally.
So it's important that we check ourselves. Again, people who are in the military or paramilitary, they tend to be very physically active. They tend to be, on top of their game physically. So what could be wrong with the chairman of the EFCC?
Anything. It could be anything and everything. That's the thing. We're not doctors. We never know. It really could just be something mild. It could be as little as ill-treated malaria. It's something that we do a lot. Maybe you're not feeling too well. You feel okay. I can still carry on.
Yeah.
Time.
And we do that a lot.
It could be lack of rest. we do a lot of things. We take a lot of things for granted. We take a whole lot of things for granted. So at the end of the day, one just really needs to take care of themselves.
Right. So the thing is, have no fear. It's not something that people should start to say and come up with conspiracy theories and all sorts of stuff. At this point in time, at least we should be cautious and careful at the things that we say or put out. But since we're talking about an event that happened at Aso Rock,
Okay.
let's talk about another event that actually happened at Aso Rock today. Because you would find that the president of FIFA and the president of CAF are in Nigeria for the Aisha Buhari football tournament invitational.
I think that big ups to NFF. They have actually been making a lot of moves, and we know that they say that it's sports ministry, not football ministry. The truth is that football is a mainstay in Nigeria. It's always been like the front runner. Can we do better? Of course we can. But we know that at least what we have is still, and hate him or love him, the NFF president has actually been making a lot of moves, and I know that a lot of times they're always coming up about a lot of moves that they make is more about doing being financially autonomous from the government generally, that they just want to stand on their own, and we see that they make a lot of moves, a lot of partnerships here and there and back and forth. So if that is the case, we see that it's a big thing. The Aisha Buhari Cup is the first time this is happening, and it's in Nigeria. Of course, it's Aisha Buhari, but the fact that the NFF could pull the FIFA president and the CAF president to Nigeria, I think is a big deal for NFF and sports generally in Nigeria. I like the fact that, as right now, let's be honest, I'm not that much of a fan of the sports minister, and I like the fact that they are not making it a sports ministry kind of thing. Let everybody stay on their own, because the one that they put their mouth in, we saw how it ended.
You know, I have one concern though, and my concern is Aisha Buhari Invitational Tournament. Aisha Buhari is the wife of the president of Nigeria.
Yeah.
She will be in government with her husband for another 2 years maximum, and they will leave. What happens to this invitation?
Maybe the name changes
to the next.
I just have a question though.
So,
I hope she's going to be at this event.
We'll soon find out.
Because I think that would really the most ridiculous thing if she isn't.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the longevity and the sustainability. Even if yes, it's just to honor her. I'm not sure she's the one that's sponsoring it. It's not her funds. I don't think so. But whatever it is, shouldn't we institutionalize things like this? A Six Nation tournament is a beautiful thing for women's football.
Yeah. We've seen how women's football, FIFA is doing a lot with women's football. We've seen how yesterday was announced that the US had brought up contracts that the men's football team and the female football team are going to get paid the same thing, and how they're also advocating and pushing to FIFA that the World Cup prize for females of women should be the same for men.
Yeah, it's been an ongoing battle in quotes. You know, we always have battle of the genders and all of that. But in this particular case, it's been going on for so long that you find that a lot of major tournaments have disparity in pay.
Yeah.
Marketers and business people will tell you it really doesn't matter, because what it is that
is what they put in that.
That the women's game is not as the women.
Viable.
Yeah, but I say if you nurture the women's game, it will be as viable as the
That's
men's
the
game.
thing. But
you
if
know?
I want to be like, if I want to play the devil's advocate here, I would say that when we get to that level, you should make it then.
So we should wait until the women's game becomes viable by itself.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't put in as much effort. Yeah. Now is the time to make it as viable.
That's it.
But if it is not there yet, where are the funds to give the remuneration to the women?
Okay.
And I think that for me, I actually honestly feel that yes, there's a lot more. There needs to be a lot more awareness when it comes to female football or female sports generally. I think football is really the crux of the matter. Yeah, female football. But before we get to that stage, my issue is that, let's be honest with ourselves, can the female football as of today, is it as viable as the men's football? No, it's not. Should there be things towards it? Yes, there should be a lot of work put towards it. But before we get to that stage, let's be realistic with what is on ground. Another issue that I have with female football is women. And is women supporting women's football. What I mean by that is that go to a typical men's game, club, country, whatever. There are not as many women here that you find in the stadium as men. But you go to a women's game, you hardly find any woman watching a women's football game. And I'm wondering why. Like, what's the plan?
We have a couple of comments from Pastor Ime James. Thank you very much, sir, for your comments. We said, though some revisionists are saying he did not slump but walked away, the EFCC job is daunting. This is another comment.
Okay.
And could be draining. Oh, okay. I hear you clearly now. Are you saying he did not slump? No.
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 The video I saw.
We saw the video.
He actually successfully walked.
He walked from the podium.
There was a dizzy spell. What we saw, there was a dizzy spell. Then it looks like he stopped abruptly. Then he walked from the podium to his seat. But as he was getting to his seat, he literally fell on the chair. In fact, to me, it looks like
that's
he
a
was
slump.
lying.
Like he slumped into the chair.
Yeah, he slumped into the chair and he was lying on the chair.
You know, because the chairs in front, they're not chairs, they're like couches.
Couches.
So
he literally slumped into the couch. So did he slump?
Oh yeah.
For the video I saw.
Oh yeah. That's not what we're saying. We would never twist the facts. It's not something that we like to do here.
There is a video out there actually.
It's there. It's actually on YouTube and all of that.
We should not what's it called? Like we said, it is like you had said, sir. It's a very daunting job. It could have been something as
something could have triggered it.
Easy as, or something as, which is actually not very. As much as we overlook it, it's not that small. It could be something as lack of sleep. It could be a little illness as malaria that will just. It could be just rest. It could be anything. We don't know what the outcome is or what caused it, but did he slump? Yes.
Oh yeah, it definitely did.
Yes, it did.
It definitely did. You know, what I was saying earlier was that he actually had the strength to walk from the podium to the chair. I give him kudos for that. But if you watch it, even before he walked away, he was touching his face a couple of times, and he was squinted his eyes. You would see that there was something wrong. There was something wrong somewhere. He definitely had issues with being in that place at that time. You know, in fact, you see politicians and political appointees who slump on TV. We've seen quite a few. Case in point, remember the former chairman or MD of the Niger Delta Commission who slumped.
Excuse me. I'm not saying that one as a slump. Please. Someone like the slump that he was still opening his eyes and was still. I beg, that was just drama.
And when you look at what happened here, you get a clear picture that yes, this
was an
man
original
actually
slump. That one, I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about football. Yeah, so,
you know. So
I was
you were talking about
how
women supporting women or not supporting
women.
women.
Do not support women. It's what I've observed for a long time. Maybe people say that it's not as interesting or not, but I don't know. Maybe.
No. You see, I've always held that view. I've said it everywhere. We've had this discussion several times. I've always believed that women can do more for themselves, especially women who are in the position of power. You know, like we have the Aisha Buhari tournament now. If we have a replica across all the states, it won't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
The reason why we need competition is to practice the things that we've learned, is to sharpen our skills and also gauge our strengths and our weaknesses.
Yeah.
So, and again, it also allows us to discover new talent. You get, so it won't be a bad idea if we had a replica of this national, or it's actually an international tournament now.
It is.
So imagine if some other governors' wives replicated it and invited other states, then at the local government is replicated. You get what more women will be engaged playing football and everything, and they would have the belief that they can actually take this to the next level.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. So that's a fine thing. And I've always also felt that brands that target women solely for their sales, their items that women actually use a lot, can at times it's not only about what your brand is going to get out of it. At times it's like thin and something that would yield later. So if brands that women use on a regular solely invest in women's sports,
exactly.
The women,
there's going to be a lot more awareness. Take for example, sanitary towels, makeup,
stuff like that.
Okay, because you say so I know that some people say that maybe take like makeup now. Maybe a lot of female footballers don't use makeup. Every woman uses sanitary towel.
They actually use makeup after when they're done with the game.
I'm just saying, like, let's even say that maybe some of them just don't like it. Because even people that don't play football, not everybody uses makeup.
Yeah.
Everybody uses a sanitary towel.
Yeah.
Like, those are things that maybe women's clothes, jewelry,
things like that.
Those are things that.
So those are niche markets. You can actually come into the fray and support the system now. Mm-hmm. And when it grows, your business will leverage off it. It's a win-win on the long run. If the administrators also do the right thing and keep to their own side of the bargain by delivering on all the deliverables that they might have put out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Administration is a whole lot. We know that it's one of the major issues that Nigerian sports is really dealing with. We've seen the two sides of the coin. How, take for example, wrestling, how good administration is actually making them grow in leaps and bounds. Yeah.
So that's an interesting take about how we can actually help the women's game improve. And everything we said that has to do with football, please expand to sports in general. That if you could actually do the same thing, But once again, I repeat, the sustainability of this type of project is my biggest concern, and my prayer is that the organizers have already taken that into cognizance, and that it's not going to be tied only or except the person who the tournament is named for is actually willing, to continue
it, which is not a bad idea. It's still, whether she's the president, like Aisha Buhari Cup, she's still always going to be Aisha Buhari anyway.
Always.
So it not even have to be a physical money. It's the fact that you probably have not probably you have been president's wife or first lady for 8 years. There's some clout that her name, her presence can garner for this particular invitational tournament.
Exactly. So then kudos to the organizers. All the teams invited are in Nigeria. Nigeria won yesterday. A brace from a lady called Monday, who's called 2 on a Tuesday, and that's a very, very good thing for the tournament. Maybe the way things that Nigeria will host and win it.
That's good. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
All right, it's still the Boom Bar, your Boom Radio NG, and we are moving on. We're still talking music, sports, entertainment, and everything in between, and talking about music, sports, entertainment, and everything in between. Something is happening in the world of music. It's a revolution, and Nigerian music is really, really, really doing very well now. We've been saying it, but it just keeps getting better and better. Now, Apple Music is a big platform. Everybody knows it's a massive global platform, and a lot of people actually get their music, their songs and their music listed on Apple Music, and people go there and stream, and the stats are always there. And now, apart from album sales, people are talking stats now. How many streams do you have on Spotify?
Because it makes money.
Yeah, because they also get paid for doing it. Remember the story of a artist or a fraudster who more or less cloned Wizkid's album
and made
made
millions of naira off it.
And the guy made millions of it. That's how the digital music business works. But there's something that Apple Music calls the Up Next program. And to them, it's an initiative geared towards identifying, showcasing, and elevating rising talent. So, Thames Baby on Twitter, that's a Twitter handle in case you want to go follow her, has been added to that program by Apple Music. For a lot of people, Thames is not new, but she's new on the music scene for most of you people. For some of us who've been following, the underground movement, we've been following the underground for a while, at least for 3-4 years. We've heard about Thames, and she's put out some nice music out there. Now she has a new EP out, right?
Yeah, something about the color orange, something orange.
Yeah, she has a
something orange. I can't remember what the name is exactly, but I know it's something orange. I know that's what it's called.
We'll confirm before we leave this place. So she, had done Broken Ears. For Broken Ears, that was an EP that she had released. That was her first EP, and of course it got a lot of buzz then. American artists started talking about her and everything. But the one with the real soap, the one that has the anointing, the guy
cut soap for her.
The guy, yes,
he cut soap for
yes,
her.
he's the one with the real soap. The guy knew when he named himself Wiz. Who's a Wizkid? If you Google what it means to be a Wizkid, you will understand the anointing on Wizkid's life. I'm sorry, Emma Binu, I am talking from a point of happiness. Yes, and basically Wizkid featured her.
That's like the proper definition of cut soap for me.
Exactly. That's why I said the guy with the soap. People didn't know it was Wizkid that had that soap. They didn't know. So if you now that just go and cut, tell him to cut small soap for you. Wizkid put Thames on that song, Essence. Beautiful song. It grows on you. For those of you that don't even like it, just keep listening and it grows on you.
I think it's a beautiful song. I've always said it. I think it's a beautiful song. But I do not hate it.
The but
I actually like it. But I just like more songs on that album. I think that there are nicer songs on that album than it. One of it is Smile. Another for me is Mood. Oh my God, that song does wonderful things to you.
Mood features one of the most unique Nigerian singers out there. His name is Buju to your ears. That's his Twitter handle. You might want to follow him too. Great guy, positive energy.
No, it's there's a lot of story about him. There's a day we should really break some of these things.
We should. Why not? So guess what? Thames has also now been featured on Drake's new album.
Yeah,
CLB, Certified Lover Boy. That album is big across the world.
It's
Like
Drake, and even that song in itself, it's given Thames the second
Billboard.
appearance on Billboard. Like, of course. So,
And again,
you know,
somewhere in between Made in Lagos and Drake's album, they dropped a remix of Essence featuring the one and only Justin Bieber.
I think that
And that song is
that
doing
just
mad.
killed it.
It's doing
I think
some
killed
mad
it.
numbers now.
And I like the fact that as much as people are you sing and all, I like when you know the business, you understand the business, you know that when you have some certain kind of people jump on your song is going to do well. And that's the truth. I think it is that thing that maybe not the angle of sales, but is the angle of a song having a different feel and being nice is what I think someone like Buju does.
Yeah. You know, and that's what
So
Buju
that's the thing.
and that's what Buju brings every time you bring Buju to your
Yeah.
project. So Times, there's a movie out now. It's good. That's what Apple Music is about. Up Next, you know, the film. So it came out today. Our own version of it has come out today. And there's something I'd read somewhere again that I'm going to repeat here. She keeps talking about her decision to quit her job. She did that about 2 or 3 years ago. Quit her job and put out music. And she said at some point,
And it definitely paid off.
at some point, she started getting shows, and before you know it, she couldn't go out anymore. Said that when she went to the supermarket, you know, people recognized her, and she was like, "Okay, something is happening," you know. And I remember that song is "Try Me." I wanna try me, but try me.
That song is actually big.
Disguise me. And it went big in like 43 countries across the globe on streaming platforms. So congratulations to Thames baby. I heard she's from Lagos Island, Isaleko, you know. Yeah, so shout out to all the Isaleko people, you know. Another great talent out of there. I remember my man Lafiaji, aka Mr. VEC, you know. So come on, big up yourself, Lagos Island.
I think that kudos to Nigerian music.
Yeah.
Nigerian music is moving in leaps and bounds. It's breaking all the barriers. It's breaking down walls. It's
glass ceilings, wooden ceilings,
every
concrete
kind of ceiling.
ceilings.
I think that Nigerian music is what is. It's like we've seen how the people that we looked up to, like, oh, these artists are big abroad. They literally jump on Nigerian songs now.
They do.
And it's something that, and you will not take it away from, which I also think that is easier now with the advent of internet and, like you said, streaming platforms and all that. Kudos to the people that actually made it big, made Nigerian music big from day one without having these things. And the people of Fela with King Sunny Ade,
Ebenezer
Obey. These people did make Nigerian music global.
Yes, they did.
And they did not have these things. You can imagine if they had then, it would have been massive. So, it's not anything that we want to say. These people literally brought Nigerian music to the world.
Yes, they did. And, big shout out to, we can't mention the names, but they're too many, they're too numerous. But we must say kudos to each and every one of them, because it's on their shoulders that people like Wizkid, Davido, Burna, Olamide, Thames, Lady Donley, all of them. It's on Lady Donley, all of them are standing on the shoulders of this legend, and they are representing us very well, putting a lot of smiles on people's faces, and of course putting a lot of smiles on their own faces too, as they smile to the bank. Are they not smiling to the bank though? You know?
See? Which makes it obvious that music is now a very lucrative thing.
It is.
It is very lucrative, from shows to endorsements to streams, which truthfully it wasn't like that before. So at times which also brings me to the conversation where the older, a lot of them did not, what we call blow now, or maybe like, of course they were big, but they didn't have the money, they didn't have, so at times you're like, okay, you would when you see maybe some of them in real life, like, and then like, you expect this person to be bigger than that and all that, but they didn't have the opportunity that these people here have. There are people that are not as big, but they're actually making a lot of money from music already.
this thing that you said, it always breaks my heart every time when you remember some artists who, regardless of the talent that they have, are really struggling. Financially, they're not doing okay at all. We were at an event representing Boom Radio sometime last year, and trust me, some of the fantastic artists that you used to know from the 90s.
Yeah, I remember we were there, and
Nah.
you're like, okay, you would expect a lot more, maybe because of the persona that Nigerian musicians now give and all that. But it was what it was, and it is what it is now. Everybody to each his own. Even in that era, there might not have been a lot of them, but a few people still made headway. They actually still made like a lot of money. So at the end of the day, it is what it is.
All right, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and what it is now is that we're going to move away from that. And let's talk about another musician, another woman. Yeah, women are really getting a lot of mention on the show, like we always do. We don't even see gender lines here, do we? Let's talk about this person, but she's based out of Nigeria, she's based out of the US. Her name is Onika, aka Nicki Minaj.
Oh, okay.
And this is a touchy subject for me, and I know for Tolupo too.
Yeah, because I've been seeing a lot of people going on and on and on about Nicki Minaj since yesterday, and about how people have been saying, this is why people like Cardi B more than they like her. They're like, oh no. I'm still a Nicki fan. Any day, anytime. Major Nicki fan. But she did something, and this conversation started with when a lot of people were asking why she wasn't at the Met Gala. And this is something that she's one of the few people that always have dramatic stuff, like people are always looking forward to see. Nicki had always been drama. She came out with, everybody knew her with her colored hair, her kind of dress sets,
all
and
pink,
all that.
pink.
She one. You see her today, she has pink hair. Next day is red hair. She's always been dramatic. So she's one of the people that, of course, you would have expected with the kind of drama that happens at the Met Gala. And so she tweeted and said that she did not come to the Met Gala because she had not been vaccinated.
Double vaccinated.
No, she hadn't been vaccinated.
I'm referring to double vac. There was a tweet, if you go through the whole process, but carry on with what you're saying. It's not
and that
something
she
to dwell
said,
on.
And that the point was that she was still doing some research, and even if she was going to get vaccinated, that the Met Gala is not what will make her get vaccinated. And I think that you had to be vaccinated to come to the Met Gala. That it was going to be a decision for herself. That was 2 days ago. And then yesterday, there was also reports where she had now said that in her findings, she found out that someone had gotten impotent from taking the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, according to her in a tweet, she said, my cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. You see, there are a lot of different positions to the vaccine. People will take it different ways, Some are aggressive about it. Her stance is not necessarily aggressive, but she's just saying, look,
this is what
you can't force me to get vaccinated. Now, let me point out that both of us in this studio are double vaccinated, like we are fully vaccinated. And if there's a booster shot available, we're taking it.
I'm taking it. Definitely.
No issues.
The truth is...
And it has nothing to do with pressure or being bullied.
No. The truth of the matter is that, are there going to be side effects? Yes, I read a story of a guy that he said that his mom had to be amputated because she had a bad reaction to the vaccine. It's that bad. So is it possible that someone became impotent because of the vaccine? Yes, and it will also be because of something else, that it was just coincident. Two different things. Now, according to the US, they had said the White House had invited her. I'm sure that they said that they want to do more findings about what...
Yeah. Even the number one man when it comes to fighting COVID-19 in America, Dr. Fauci, had actually responded to Nikki's claims
Yeah.
and said that it's erroneous and it's unfounded and there is no proof of whatever she said that it happened and blah blah blah. However, because I believe in vaccination does not mean that I'm going to be blind to the fact that people react to these things differently.
Differently, yeah.
Now, it might not cause impotency, it's possible, but I have seen and heard people who have reacted badly to the vaccine. Someone landed in hospital just for taking this vaccine. But at times, like we always say, that the reaction you have to the vaccine might be related to the reaction you might have had also if you came down with
COVID, yeah.
You know, so yes, again, with the
we
vaccination,
all have,
you might still catch
yeah,
COVID.
we all have different.
So stay safe still.
Different reactions. Take for example, both of us. We actually took the vaccine on the same
day, same
the very
place.
first dose, same day, same place. I don't think he had any form of reaction.
None.
For about 24 hours, I can tell you for a fact I was not myself.
Yeah, she was sick.
I was
she
not
was
myself.
Sickly.
Like, it just felt like I was ill. I woke up in the middle of the night with a fever. It was all sorts of things. Different people with different reactions. Other people had worse, other people had it better. But I also just think that as much as we need to do our findings, we know that there's a lot of things at stake. COVID is at stake. COVID is seriously at stake. And talking about people being coerced, you know that yesterday we were just talking about Edo State government.
Yeah.
Going on about not allowing civil servants,
Edo State workers must be vaccinated or they can't come to work.
Can't come to work. And the bad part with it is that if you can't come to work, it will be counted for you as not being at work that day. So it's
no salary for that day.
So it's a very, very touchy subject. And also, today, France had come out to say that they had suspended 3,000 unvaccinated health workers. So as of today, if you are not vaccinated as a health worker in France, you're not coming to work. Which you honestly can't blame them. Because if you choose not to be vaccinated, but you're dealing with other people and you're probably one of the easiest ways to actually transmit it to other people. I think it's a good move. And that's it for me. Something else?
Yeah, a lot of stuff is happening. A lot of things are happening in our country. Politics, we said music, sports, politics, and everything in between at the boombar. This is what we do. Quickly, let's talk about the protest that broke out in Benin a couple of days ago. Lasted for 2 days. The school got shut down. And what was it all about? UniBen, University of Benin, is a federal university. So, people who had not paid their school fees were asked to pay a late fee.
Yeah.
Now,
and
the logic behind this does not make sense. You increase the school fees, then people are struggling to pay it. Then you now go and charge them a late fee. They can't even pay the first one.
Shout out to you, Iman.
You know?
Those things never close. If you know, you know.
You see, and again,
those things never close.
Right now, it's said that the school has now cancelled the hike, because it actually led to a major protest. And if you know the position or the situation or location of the campus for University of Benin, it's smack dab on the major access to Benin City. A lot of people use that road to access Abuja and other parts of Nigeria. So the students shut it down for 2 days, Aluta continue. I can relate.
We all do those things.
I can relate.
No, people all did that. Me? Once they start,
you run to your house.
I don't used to wait for such.
Okay, so the Vice Chancellor Lilian Salami, the Vice Chancellor of University of Benin, shut the school down when the protest persisted, and it was even said that I think they even went to her house or they went to meet her and all of that. She spoke to the cable. The cable NG is another very nice source for news, and that's where I'm reading this from. Said she was in her car. Students started climbing it. She got out, trekked to the gate, and asked what they wanted. and she agreed that the 20,000 should be removed, and that they should resume classes and all of that. But their demands now that the PRO of the school should be sacked and all of that. I'm sure that they'll work out their differences. But what we're trying to say is that it is happening that you can actually protest without being destructive. You can, yes, you have to be disruptive, but not destructive. Do not destroy. You can disrupt. You get. However, this has worked well for the students of University of Benin, and I am very happy. But again, whenever you come back to say that your government has not done anything for you, check the amount that students are paying in federal universities. Then you will know that your government has done everything for you. Everything for you. You must be grateful. You will not know it until you leave school, or you have to go to a private school,
private university,
or a school outside Nigeria. Then you will understand what your government has done for you. You know, and talking about universities and government and schools, let's quickly talk about something that everybody is also talking about out there online, and a lot of online publications and newspapers are already talking about the appointment of the Vice Chancellor of the Lagos State University, Ojo, that's LASU. The wife of the Commissioner for Environment, Professor Ibiyemi Olatunji Bello. Her husband is Olatunji Bello. He is the Commissioner for Environment, and is one of the top guns in government because he's been around for a while.
Okay.
And he's a performer. He's got a good track record. But it's not about him now. It's about his wife, Professor Ibiyemi Olatunji Bello. She has been appointed as the 9th substantive Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University. And that shouldn't be a big deal, because it should just be, oh, there's a female Vice Chancellor for LASU again, and all of that. And you get, oh, this is a good thing for gender. And all. But guess what? That's not what people are talking about. It should just be people congratulating her, right? No. The fact that her husband is in government as a Commissioner for Environment is the talking point. Everybody's going on about, I saw one headline that the governor of Lagos, his name is Sanwo-Olu, and they say Sanwo-Olu appoints his commissioner's wife as Vice Chancellor. Now, by law, and this is something that we had actually argued and discussed before coming on air, Dolupo pointed it out, in the extant laws of Nigeria, appointing the Vice Chancellor, the first one is by the visitor. The visitor is usually the governor or the president. Governor for state universities, president for national...
Federal universities.
Yeah, federal universities, thank you. Subsequent appointments should be made by the Senate.
The Senate, yeah, the governing council.
But we all know in this country, and I stand to be corrected.
I don't agree with that, though. But
you don't have to. Please don't. If the beauty of life is that we must see things differently for things to get better in this country. Please don't even agree. I have never seen, and maybe it's influence, maybe it's an unwritten law, that a vice chancellor, either in the state university or a federal university, is appointed by the Senate, which is what should happen. Not the National Senate or the Senate of the school.
The governing council, the pro-chancellor.
With there's supposed to be a search team, and they're supposed to advertise the position. Yeah. Some people have actually gotten jobs that way. Yeah. But we all know. Okay, I know. Let me speak for myself. That every time you read the news, every time you follow up, you will hear that, oh, the president has not done anything about it yet, so they cannot do anything about it. While the law says that the Senate should choose the VCs for the school, we all know that those positions are politically motivated.
Yeah.
Hardly is there any vice chancellor in this country that does not have one form of political endorsement or the other before they can attain that role. That's my stance, and I'm sticking by it.
For me, I'm not sure. I won't say I agree or I do not agree. I feel that too many universities, I know the one that I know for a fact that the president appoints he appoints pro-chancellors. That comes from the presidency and nobody else. But if there's a system in place, and if it is done the way it's supposed to be done, saying that Governor Sanwo-Olu appointed, I don't think it is his business. And another angle I would even take from this is, let's even say that it is not his business, yeah? It's even his business. Are we saying that she's not she's not qualified for the job? At least you have to be a lecturer to a certain, I think you even have to be a professor or something. Are you saying that she's not qualified to be for a job? Are you saying that she's a secondary school teacher, that she was picked up and to become VC of the school? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are we saying that after looking at her credentials, is she actually not worthy of that job? Because it happens a lot. We see that because maybe your husband is, take for example, the First Lady of the United States. About a week ago, it was announced that she's going back to teach.
Yeah.
Which most of the time, it doesn't happen, because once you become First Lady, and it is just as an addendum to which there is no official office of the First Lady. So it's just an addendum to your husband. All you do is you're going to events and smiling and signing and being cutting ribbon and doing all charities and back and forth. But does it mean that women or people generally, because if it is the other way around, vice versa, I'm not sure we'll be having this discussion.
No.
But because he's a woman, then there has to be an addendum. Please, her husband is a commissioner, yeah?
Yes.
And a commissioner is an appointment. This is someone that for her to even get to the post,
she grew through the ranks
for years on end. At least she cannot have less than we're talking 15 to 20 years experience of being a lecturer. So are we just going to throw that out just because her husband is a commissioner? Before we came on, you were talking about how a former governor in this country, how his wife, as of today, is a justice of the Supreme Court. Would she have stopped, if she had stopped work when her husband came? She would not be where she is today.
She won't be.
Are you going to, because we still always have that conversation, and when she sits on this, she's partisan, she's this, she's that. Are we saying that she doesn't deserve
professionally,
she doesn't deserve to be in that seat? I think that in our bid to, we add too much politics, and there's so much patriarchy in a lot of things.
Yeah,
and I don't agree with it.
It's a big problem. Patriarchy is a big problem, and it's causing us, unnecessary strife. If only we could open our minds and allow things to work, the way they should. If a woman or a man deserves a position, regardless of the partner's position in government, they should not lose out. But nepotism is bad also.
Yes,
we know that, people get appointed. There's a funny thing that happens, especially in Nigerian politics. At the state level, a person becomes governor, just had his small brother or cousin, gives him Ministry of Sports. It's usually sports that they use to play their games, or maybe the sports council or the state-owned sport team or something. And most times you find that these people that they put there don't know nothing about nothing. But in some other instances, you will find that people who deserve to be in that position will not get it because their relatives are in government. So I hope we get to a point where we treat everything based on its own merit and all of that. Yeah. And talking about treating things based on merit and reactions, who would have thought that the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, would kick against an addition to his team?
Okay.
So a PDP member representing from Rivers State, his name is Chisom DK, today declared his defection from the PDP to the APC, and one of the first things that is attributed to the Speaker of the House is that Nigeria cannot afford to become a one-party state. It must be really bad if it's really at this rate that someone from Rivers State again.
It is to his own advantage, yeah. even as Speaker of the House, let's be honest with ourselves, for you to get for a lot of things to be passed, it's better if he has the majority all the time, yeah?
So,
but the truth is that is it good
for our politics?
Is it good for governance?
So, the Speaker has now asked the Clerk of the House, as a matter of urgency, to compile the number of members in each political party in the House. An official position must be taken. They need to understand
but also,
who is in what party. Now, you can't stop people from joining.
You can't actually also stop
you
people. Can't. Exactly. We've seen how in state houses, in fact, this particular dispensation is a lot. It's happening a lot where the whole house is just one party. There is no minority. Should we start counting?
So,
especially in Southwest. The leader, a thing in the Southwest.
The leader of the minority party, Undudi Elumelu, would always kick, and he has also said it again that it was wrong and that the APC was harassing and luring opposition to join his fold. Now, in response to him, apparently the leader of the House, Al-Hassan Ado Dogwa, taunted the minority leader that more people will still join the APC. Politics, and more politics. Interesting. Let's see what happens to the list that is being compiled to find out who is in the PDP, who is in the APC on paper. Because at times, some of these people, some of their movement is on paper.
Let's know what we're doing. But I think that I like what the speaker had said. At a point, okay, you should just calm down. Maybe he is okay. What's happening in PDP? Let me help you mediate. Honestly.
Okay, talking politics still. Southern governors -1 from the southeast are actually meeting now in a closed-door meeting in Enugu. Okay. There is nothing released yet from that meeting, but they've been very consistent. It's looking like a monthly thing now.
Yeah, they've had a lot of meetings with
2 meetings. There was one in Delta. There was one in Lagos.
They had more than, I think there was one in Ondo at a point.
Okay, so you see, they've been very consistent.
Yes, they have actually.
And still talking politics, the Chisom DK guy, is said to be one of Governor Nyesom Wike's main men.
Is Rivers State?
Did you hear when I said Rivers?
Wow. Okay. I reserve my comments at this point. I have nothing to say. I didn't hear that part, honestly. I did not. And you would think that Rivers State is one of PDP's strongholds, yeah? I think that's the second House of Rep member to move from Rivers State. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
2023 shaping out already.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. A lot of things are happening, but there's a bit of good news out of Calabar. The Chief Medical Director of the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, UCTH, has disclosed that the institution has performed its first open heart surgery.
Oh, wow.
Successfully yesterday.
Wow.
September the 15th.
I think that it's a good thing for medicine. It's a good thing for Nigeria. We see that when we talk about medical tourism and people moving from place to place, it's obvious that we can now see that maybe things are really not, and we know that for a fact that personnel is not the problem. It's always from power to equipment and all those things. So kudos to them, kudos to those doctors. They definitely just saved another life. God bless them.
Yes, saving lives and God blessing people. This bit of news is from nigeriannews.com, and it says a toddler miraculously excretes swallowed nail as he was being prepared for surgery.
Wow.
And this was posted on Facebook by a mother who actually came to share how her son swallowed a nail, and he was being prepped for surgery, and he actually excreted the nail. Now, if you've never really dealt with toddlers, You will say, what kind of story is this and all that. Trust me, you'll be shocked at the kind of things that this little.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god.
we all did.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
we all did.
Oh my god. But I'm happy for her. She said she took
Yeah,
her son to the teaching hospital. An X-ray, was carried out on the boy, and of course, they
I
were.
know that. The truth is that other than being a miracle, not taking anything away from that, is that our bodies, for there to be surgeries, our bodies have ways of ejecting things by itself. There is a mechanism. It's if it's not being able to, but most of the time, our bodies have ways of trying to eject a lot of things by itself.
And that's what the body eventually
Yeah.
did. It said that the doctor had told them, based on the X-ray, that the position where the nail is, it won't be able to turn, and so the only way to get it out was surgery. And just while it was being prepped, I'm sure the young guy just heard and said, "Me surgery?
Hey, me.
All right. That is almost our show. There's just one more story to take a look at, and the story of a certain deadly robber. This is from PM News Nigeria, and a cultist. One is called Timothy, the other one is called Toib, and they were busted in Lagos, by the anti-crime patrol of Area J Command, Elomoro, and this guy's the Alabi Timothy guy lives somewhere in Aja. He was arrested at 12:30 a.m. on 4th of September, around Lekki, doing a routine stop and search by the police. And of course, they found a locally made double-barrel gun with 2 live cartridges, including an expended cartridge, concealed in a bag. And this was what the Nigerian police got from the guy. Again, another self-confessed cultist, Badmus Toib, 22 years old, who belongs to a certain confraternity, was arrested with live cartridge in that same place at Aja.
Wow.
And he actually